On this channel, I've been covering the worst mobile games I can find and comparing them to their ridiculous ads. And today, again, we are doing just that. The first ad shows us somebody cleaning a car's rear window, revealing a couple making out. Ooh, that is so hot. Then it shows us a glass shower being cleaned, slowly revealing a naked woman. Don't worry, incels, I will get to the bottom of this. If there is a naked woman in this game, I will immediately report back to you guys. The game is called Deep Clean 3D. Once it's downloaded, this game jumps straight into the action. It starts with us cleaning this teddy bear with a tube thingy. Honestly, at first I was really into this game. It was so satisfying. The phone was even vibrating along with the vacuum. But then suddenly the level ended before I was able to fully clean the bear. And in that very moment, all of the satisfaction I felt in the first 30 seconds was suddenly torn away and replaced with a very triggering feeling. Unfortunately, that'll be the most satisfying part of the game, and it's all downhill from here. Next, you have to tap to rotate the fan to get rid of the fart clouds, then sweep up the broken pot, vacuum the crumbs, clean the gross out of the tablets, and then oh my god, no way. It's the car from the ad. Get ready, incels. Are we going to clean the car and see the couple kissing? No. Of course not. You clean the window and then watch an ad for Coffee Stack. As great as this game is, I'm sure, I was really hoping to see the kissing scene. At this point, I think you guys understand the game. There is nothing but boring, mundane, unsatisfying tasks over and over with an ad after almost every single level. So why don't we just move on to the next game?
No, class is so boring. Let's spice things up with some hot sauce.
No way!
Come on, one little sip wouldn't hurt. Oh, nice! Is that enough? No, that's not enough. Come on, thumbtacks, let's do it. That's a classic. And nice, fell for it again. Oh, what else can I do?
This is the ugliest game I've ever seen. So the game's called Prank Master 3D. The game starts with you customizing your just beautiful character, and they did make the mistake of making the best shirt in the entire game free from the get-go, so never did I ever change his outfits. Aside from when the blue hair became available, I wanted to make my boy look like Tyler Ninja Blevins. Despite what the ad shows you, you're not pranking any teachers. In fact, the only person you're pranking is this blonde-haired kid, which I'm fine with as I hate his face, which I suppose is the point since we're torturing the guy. And I mean, we're seriously torturing him here. This is not a game about pranking. This is a game about torturing somebody in the most creative ways possible. The entire game boils down to choose how you prank him. Every level you're given at least two options. One will work and he'll be hilariously pranked, and the other will fail and he'll be left untouched. In other words, this game is a 50-50 chance after a 50-50 chance. There is no puzzle to solve here and no consistent way to predict which option to pick. Sometimes the game will give you hints like rock and roll, so obviously here you pick the rock, but sometimes the text isn't helpful or is purposely misleading. I also tried to big brain some levels by thinking, surely they're not going to have the screwdriver be the option for the 5th time in a row, right? So I would try to pick the option that's never been seen before, and I would be wrong about half the time. This game does not care about innovating or having any kind of strategy. Sometimes you'll still prank him, but it won't be the worst prank out of the two, so it'll say you failed. Like sometimes I would watch the prank unfold thinking I did it right, only to have to try again. If you're playing this game, I assume it's for all the wacky ways you prank the kid. You must love his wild reactions and amazing animation. The ads you have to sit through every time is worth it, so as long as you get to see this guy have a panic attack and fear for his life. No, but seriously, why are we pranking this guy? I want the lore here. Was he the one who pranked the teacher in the ad? Is this game about getting revenge over and over, trying to kill this kid because he pranked his teacher? Are we really pretending to kill his cat and bury his face in cement over this? You know, the kid who works out, loves his cat, plays on the playground, and lives a normal life is being punished worse than anybody else in the world because he put some hot sauce in the teacher's coffee. Or maybe they're just jealous of his shirt. Let this be a lesson to all of you out there. I don't know what the moral of the story is, but let it be a lesson. Anyway, I played all 60 levels of this game, and all that happens at the end is you repeat from level 1. So anyway, for the majority of the remainder of this video, I will be talking about similar mobile games to Prank Master. As I've mentioned in a previous video, most of the games that I talk about are hyper casual games. In other words, they require almost no skill to play are very mundane and never innovate at all. Prank Master is a subgenre of these hyper-casual games, a subgenre I'm going to coin as the choice genre. Most of the following games I'm going to be talking about today will rely heavily on choices. For example, Papers, Grade Please. I assume this is the title because they want you to get confused with Papers, Please, so you download this game by mistake. This ad shows a teacher grading students such as Billie Eilish, and oh my god, this game is just as ugly as Prank Master. Anyway, the real game is very faithful to the ad, unfortunately. You just grade the students' work. You can also build your school and classroom along the way, but that holds no bearing on literally anything. The most exciting part was when you had to fill up these volcanoes with liquid. Wow! Teacher Simulator is another app that is essentially the same thing as the last game, but this time we get to sharpen pencils. There's also a section where you get to punish kids in the hallway. For example, you drown one kid with a fire hydrant as a punishment. Both of these games could be really cool if it was a challenge to grade these papers. Like if you were given a strict time limit, and you were given slightly more complicated questions to answer, this could be a fun brain exercise type of game. But nope, they didn't even try. Airport Security is pretty much the same game, but now we're in an airport. You have to see if they're lying about anything on their passports and pat them down if they have anything suspicious on them. That's it. This ad shows a boss firing people and giving raises in Dumber Mifflin, the Pencil Corp of all places. And oh look, there's Dwight. The game is Boss Life 3D, and the ad showed off the game pretty accurately. You can choose who to promote, fire, sign papers, toss money at your employees, take away Batman's cape, you know, the normal boss type of stuff. This game would be accurate to real life under two specific circumstances. 1. Everybody is crazy and needs the guidance of a laser pointer to vacuum. Or 2. This is the most toxic work environment ever. Like everyone's okay with the boss playing golf in the office, throwing trash at them, and firing people at random, because sometimes he showers them in money and gives them high fives, and that makes it all worth it. Sometimes you do real boss stuff, but nothing in this game feels normal, is funny, or even fun. There's also random events thrown in that are very hard to lose, like the part where you sneak up on Dwight to throw jello on his head. At the very end of my play session of this game, I got an ad where you play as the president and make laws. But when I tapped on it to download it, I was brought to the App Store with a different game called Hyperboat. So naturally I download both of the games. I'll talk about the president game first, but then we'll talk about Hyperboat. And you better be getting excited for Hyperboat. You don't seem excited. Anyway, the President is the best version of this type of game that I have played today. Yes, of course, it's the same gameplay as the others. You mostly just make decisions, and in this case, most of the decisions boil down to being a good president or a bad president. But there seems to be a layer of self-awareness that makes this game stand out. I'm not going to sit here and say I laughed a single time while playing this game. All I'm saying is I feel like this game realized it's just as shitty as the other games, so to compensate, it really leaned into the wackiness of the game to give it some kind of value. There's a scene where you try to seduce a president from a different country. Michael Jackson comes in and shows you how to moonwalk. They make fun of Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. There's even a section where you make up laws like banning Netflix and chilling. With every single situation, it really feels like they do try to add a genuine level of comedy. While I personally never laughed out loud in the slightest, I do appreciate their attempt here. And to be honest, the worst joke in this game is leagues better than the best joke that has come out of any of the other games we have played today. However, this game is just as soulless as the rest of them. None of the dialogue matters. They'll say the same thing regardless, so if you want to make these guys twerk, then go for it. It just doesn't matter. You can make the ending of certain scenes change, but there's no continuity, so it makes no difference whether you let the twerkers join the military or not. And of course, they put in as many ads as possible. You want to blow these people up with a bazooka? Alright, that'll cost you one Raid Shadow Legends ad featuring Jake the Viking. Alright, time to blow them up. Oh yeah, that's right, we first need an anime ad with a horny meter. No, this makes sense and it's very important, trust me. Okay, now we can blow them up, and let's blow up these naked twerkers while we're at it. Oh, you want to send an asteroid down to kill these guys? Well, that'll cost you one more raid ad featuring Jake the Viking. Oh, you want to send these guys to hell? Do I even need to say it? I'm not even making these up. These were the exact ads I got during this scene. And this is going to be kind of off topic, but Jake, I know you left Mr. Beast to do your own thing, which I respect, but is this really what you had in mind? I'm not trying to throw any shade here, like I respect to get that bag, but I mean... Anyway, we send the couple to hell, and wow, I am so glad I sat through that 30-second ad to get this 5-second cutscene. The writers of this game really could make a fleshed out version of this game where choices actually matter. With some more love and care, the comedy could easily shine through a lot more. But they just don't care because they make a lot of easy money the lazy way. And can we please stop with the soulless dances in these mobile games? It's a trope at this point that I despise. I was playing Escape Simulator the other day, and when you solve a room, the characters dance to celebrate, and it makes me irrationally angry. These mobile games are messing with my head, and it's starting to freak me out. Time for Hyperboat! This game isn't at all like the other games we played today. This one has a boat in it. So we boot up the game, set the speed to high and start cruising. Stop cruising, and then get an ad. I am not editing this at all. There is 5 seconds of gameplay followed by an ad as soon as you start the game. But this is Hyperboat we're talking about. A boat of this quality is very expensive. I don't blame them for this at all. So after the ad, we fit everybody into these boats. They don't look very hyper at all. Now we need to untangle the ropes. Alright, now we're fishing. Okay, now we're doing some Hyperboat stuff. Let's go! Oh, so what you just saw is the entire game. Every single level is a repeat of those 4 levels over and over and over. Every time they step up the difficulty in the smallest way possible, but never does it get to the point where it's genuinely difficult in any way. Not to mention that none of these minigames are fun in the first place. And I genuinely have no idea how to play this one minigame in particular. The instructions seem simple enough, but never was I able to do anything consistently. Usually at this point I would say something like, oh, maybe I just don't understand the simple controls and I'm stupid, but I'm starting to think that Hyperboat doesn't live up to its name after all. What's the point anymore? I just hit my freaking TV, that scared me. It bounced off my chair, onto my bed, to my TV. And with that, I'm going to conclude the episode of me playing awful mobile games for way too long. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you enjoy, and I hope you all have a fantastic Tuesday.